Hey everyone, I'm back with another quick video with lots of ambient background noise because it's the evening. I have crappy lighting in the garage and I need to open the door to get some light in here to actually complete the video. So back a week or so ago from my second track day on the Duke, and another awesome weekend. Again, I was only able to do one day due to other commitments, but I lucked out and picked the warmer of the 2 days on the weekend, and the bike, as usual, was pretty fabulous. So, just zooming in on the bike here. So, as you can see, I've gotten a new left side engine cover. I came across a Woodcraft part for a pretty fantastic price, so I decided to pick that up. Not that I had any issue with the Rax Moto stuff that I had on this side, but it was just one of those things where, had the part become available a couple of months ago, I would have bought that instead of the Rax Moto, but I ended up purchasing this, and of course a little bit of more orange bling for the center cover there. One thing to note, one of two things tends to happen to certainly 2020-21 Duke 790, 890, and 890Rs is either a leak from the cylinder head cover, of which I do not have one, and a pretty substantial leak from underneath the countershaft sprocket. So is this oil from the countershaft sprocket, or is it some chain lube being slopped on there? I guess to me, I'm thinking, hoping, wishing that it's chain lube, because both start. I don't know how well you can see it in the camera, but both of them start here, and it's more of a stickier residue than what I think, low viscosity engine oil would be. That being said, I've seen some photos online of the leaky countershaft seal, and it looks like this, but just fingers of it rolling down the side of the engine. So when I get a second, I'll take this cover off and clean it up, because there's always some slop coming off it in terms of chain lube, and I don't really use a lot. It's just the nature of a bike chain. And make sure that that isn't a faulty countershaft sprocket seal, because I'd want to get it replaced under warranty rather than doing it myself. I probably could do it myself, but that's why you buy a warranty. Notice a little bit of safety wiring I've done here for the track, not required, but I thought it would be a good thing to do. So like everyone who rides these bikes, the OEM tires that come on a Duke are fantastic, but they don't last long. So I've certainly flat spotted this. It was kind of nice that after the track day I was able to round it off a bit, but then I've since done about 450 kilometers on the street again, and the roads around my parts are pretty straight. So it's flatted off again. I was getting a bit more tearing this time around on the track, but I was also really focusing on my exit drive out of the last corner onto the main straight, where some time is to be found. So I'm thinking I was probably turning mid 106 lap times at Gimli, which is nowhere near the top fastest guys, but is a decent lap time for a track day bike, I think. I think if this was my race bike and I had more protection and less desire or worry about throwing it up the road, I could probably find some more time, but certainly fast enough. But the last corner is a left turn, so you can see where this is starting to tear, as I was really trying to get on the throttle early and hard to get some speed down the front straight. Speaking of speed, every OEM dash has got some degree of inaccuracy in it, but on average, when I was hitting the brakes for turn one, I was indicated around 205 to 210 kilometers an hour, and the peak speed that I saw was 212 kilometers an hour, which equates to around 131 miles an hour, which again is not that fast if you're on a Panigale V4 or ZX-10R, but on a 100 horsepower naked bike with no fairing, that's pretty good. And for reference sake, in terms of my own speed and abilities, when I had a ZX7R on the track a number of years ago. Granted, a big old bus of a bike, but with a fairing and probably about 110 horsepower. That was my peak speed as confirmed by a GPS lap timer. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think I can again even get on the throttle more. I was following a guy on a EX500 EX650, I should say, one of the bikes that I used to race years ago. Not the same bike, but a bike. I think he had Bridgestone R11s on it, and as I was following him, before I was able to get by him, he was getting on the gas so early in the corners. I realized that I could probably, really lower my lap time if I had the huevos to get on the gas as early as this guy did, because I could hear him, and again, just right at the apex, he was opening it up pretty hard, and whereas I was sort of holding a steady throttle until past the apex, and then slowly but firmly, I'm not sure that's the right term to use, getting on the gas, and certainly I have a horsepower advantage over him. So considering he was pulling consistent 107s during that session, and I got past him and got ahead of him, I thinking I was doing into the 106s, which again I'm pretty happy with, but certainly not breaking any records by any means. So back to the tires. I guess I am having so much fun on this bike, but also wanting to really make it a dual purpose machine and putting on some road miles, but quite honestly very nervous about riding with these tires in the wet. As you can see, no sipes up to the edge of the sidewall. I'm looking at getting a second set of rims, and I think if I do some savvy online purchasing as well as buying new stuff straight from the shop, I think I can get myself a set of wheels with some used rotors, for example, and that sort of thing, so I have a spare set, and put some sticky tires on one set and some decent sport or sport touring tires on the other. The idea is that if I do go down to the States again, driving for 12 hours and then sitting on the sidelines because you've got a set of slicks, because it's raining, is not a great way to spend a weekend and a lot of money to go down to America. So that way, at least if I have a set of sport touring tires on a set of rims, if the weather does turn foul, I can still at least turn some laps without worrying about tiptoeing around the track on a set of tires like this. So hopefully I luck out. I've got some irons in the fire, and I'm trying to do some pretty, as I said, savvy bidding to get myself a set of wheels. Like everything else, finding a undamaged front wheel, or even a front wheel with only a little bit of wobble, is hard to find. I know that the 790 Duke wheel is the same as the 890. The rotors are different. So I think there was a 790 front on eBay from Australia that had a ding in it, and the guy sent me a video of it, and it had a bit of a wobble, and I was sort of hemming and hawing over it, and sure enough, he'd already sold it. So I think what'll happen is that I can probably find a used rear for a decent price, straight, because they're rarely damaged like that in a front end accident, and then just bite the bullet and buy a new front wheel from KTM, hopefully getting a bit of a discount from the shop. Hopefully, we'll see, but that'll be sort of a winter project. The rear tire here is cooked. I would have loved to, I'll maybe figure out a way if I can lever off the front tire and get it inside so it doesn't suffer the winter in minus 30 temperatures. I might be able to preserve it because the front is in great shape. It's the rear that's cooked. So other than that, the bike is around 4,000 kilometers old, which again, Manitoba is a very short riding season, and I only bought this thing in mid-June. So mid-June, mid-July, mid-August, mid-September, in 3 months I've put on 4,000 clicks. So I'm happy with that, and it's because the bike is so much fun to ride, even in the relatively straight and uncurvy roads we have around here. I guess the last thing I wanted to share is a little product review. So MotoShine came out, I don't know if it's relatively new, but the local shop was advertising it, and they had some on sale. And I thought this would be a great, general bike wipe and cleaner, kind of like Plexus. Replace this RX UV protectant, which I'd been getting for a couple of years as a general purpose bike cleaner and visor cleaner at the track and that sort of thing. And this compared to this, there's no comparison. This is definitely, I think, something to shine and polish and protect once you've cleaned the bike. It does nothing in terms of actually trying to clean the bike, whereas this is an excellent cleaner. That's why it says cleaner. So if you're thinking MotoShine MS1 will work like Plexus or RX, it won't. And I'm basically out of this. So what I hope to do is come the end of the season, give the bike a good clean, do a finish clean with this, and then a shine and protect with this before it's done. So this will last forever, I think. But it's unfortunate that this I saw as finally a cheaper replacement for Plexus, which is around $50 a can now in Canada, which is insane for a spray cleaner. But this is a good second choice, but this is definitely not a cleaner. Read the label, dummy. Shine and protect. It says nothing about cleaning. Anyway, just a little tip that if you're looking for a bike cleaning product, this is not a cleaning product. Anyway, if I get any more progress with a set of wheels or anything like that, I'll certainly keep y'all posted. And yeah, hopefully we get some more riding in before the fall season turns things miserable.